Welcome back to my channel, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get straight to what brought us here. In today's video, we are going to be talking about trendline trading strategy. I'm going to be sharing with you a simple trendline strategy that will make you millions in the forex market. Trendline is one of the technical analyses used by traders to generate stream of income from the forex market, and it is very important that you understand how to use the trend line. So what is a trend line? A trend line is simply a series of lines that connects price. It acts as a dynamic support and resistance, and trend line are only used during a trending market. You don't use trend line during a ranging market. Instead, you use horizontal line. So trend line are only used during a trending market. So they are used to identify support and resistance level. For those people that trade price action, you understand the importance of support and resistance level. So in this video, I'm going to share with you some simple strategies that I personally use in the forex market while trading using the trend line. So this strategy, I will say it will give you almost 90% win rate because I have back tested this strategy. I've front tested it, I've used it, and I can tell you that this strategy is working, is reliable. Trend lines are visual lines drawn over the highs and lows of a prevailing market to showcase the direction of that market. So what technical analysts do is that they use the trend line to determine the direction of the market and also to determine when to place their trade and when to exit their trade. So this video is not going to be theoretically, we are going to go into practical so that I will show you how you can do it whenever you want to trade the forex market. Like I said, the trend line only works during a trending market and doesn't work during a ranging market. So before I start, let me give you an example of what a trend line looks like. I'm going to give you an example, and after we are going to look at the examples in a live market, I will show you how to draw your trend line and how to trade them profitably. So here is an example of a trend line. You can see that the market is clearly in an uptrend, right? So what do? You plot your trend line and connect the lows of the market because the market is simply in an uptrend. So this is a trend line, right? This is the highs of the market. This is the highs of the market. This is the highs. This is the high. This is the high, right? Then this is the low. This is the low. This is the low. This is the low. This is the low, and this is the low. So in a trending market, what you have to do is to look at the direction of the market before determining what to do. So if the market is clearly in an uptrend, then you connect the trend line at the lows, right? At the lows of the uptrend. That is where you connect the trend line, so that whenever price comes to the trend line, you take your buy trade. And if the market is in a downtrend, you connect your trend line at the highs of the market, so that whenever the market makes a retracement to the trend line, you take your sell trade. Now look at the example that I'm talking about. You can see the market is clearly in an uptrend, right? The market makes a retracement and then tested the trend line and then went back up, tested it again, went back up, and then tested it the third time. So when are you expected to place your trade? You are expected to place your trade when the trend line is tested 3 times. I repeat, you are expected to place your trade when the trend line has been tested 3 times, right? Now this is it. This is the first retracement. The market now went up and then tested the trend line. This is the second, right? So once these 2 consecutive lows, you cannot connect the trend line at the 2 consecutive lows and extend it, right? Then you are now waiting for the third touch, right? For example, now this is the first touch, this is the second. Then you can now plot your trend line and extend it, right? You are now waiting for the third touch to place your trade. Now this is an uptrend, right? So you have identified the first touch, you have identified the second touch, right? And you have now drawn your trend line. So what are you waiting for? You are waiting for a third touch for you to place your trade. Now this is the third touch, right? This third touch confirms that the price is respecting this trend line, because if the price comes to the trend line the first time, comes to the trend line the second time and could not break through it, then once the price comes back again to the trend line the third time, you are expected to place your trade. So this is an uptrend. This is an uptrend. The price comes to the trend line the first time, went back up, comes the second time, went back up, and then the third time you place your buy trade, and then the price move up again, right? So this is how you trade using the trend line. For those that couldn't get the third touch, the market can still come back again to test the trend line the fourth time. You can still place your buy trade. So you keep placing your buy trade until the trend line is broken. Remember that this week you are seeing here is just a rejection, a fake breakout, right? This is a fake breakout. And when I talked to you about candlestick pattern, I told you about the hammer and the inverted hammer. So this is an example of it. So whenever the price comes to the trend line, breaks it a little and end up closing with a wick, it tells you that this is a fake out and the market is going up. So you should take note of that. You only trade a breakout when the price breaks below and then closes below it, right? That is when you can confirm that the trend line has been broken. So this is the first example that I have with you. Let me share with you another example. So this is another example of what I'm talking about, right? You can see the market is clearly in an uptrend. Then you now draw your trend line to connect the lows because the market is in an uptrend. Let me give you another example again. Good. Now look at this example clearly. This is an uptrend, right? Like I told you, whenever you want to draw a trend line, make sure that you connect it to the lows of the trend. If the market is in an uptrend, connect the trend line at the lows of the trend. This is the lows of the price, right? This is the low, this is the low, this is the low, this is the low, right? Because the market is in an uptrend. So you connect the trend line at the lows and wait for the price to come back to test the trend line before you place your trade. And like I told you, you have to wait 3 touch. The first touch, second touch, and then you can now confirm the third touch by placing your buy trade, because the third touch tells you that the price is respecting the trend line. So that is why whenever you spot an uptrend, right, making series of higher high and higher low, higher high and higher low, higher high and higher low, you simply plot out your trend line and connect the lows of the price and then extend it up, right? Then you wait for the price to touch the trend line 3 times before you can now execute your trade. Now this is for the downtrend. Like I've talked to you about the uptrend. Now if the market is clearly in a downtrend, right, what are you looking at? You're looking at the resistance level. So if the market is in a downtrend, making lower high and lower low, if the market is in a downtrend, making lower high and lower low, lower high and lower low, lower high and lower low, what do? You simply plot out your trend line and connect the highs of the downtrend. So you connect the highs of the downtrend and wait for price to test it 3 times. So if the price tests it the first time, the second time, and the third time, you now place your sell trade, because when the price tests the trend line the 3rd times, it tells you that the price is respecting the trend line, so you can now place your sell trade. So this is how you trade using the trend line. This is how simple it is. So we have shown you some example. Let's go to the live chart so that you will now understand what I'm talking about. Now this is a live chart, right? We are making use of gold. This is a live chart. We are making use of gold, right? This is a live chart. Now, how do you trade using the trend line? Like I told you, the trend line only works in a trending market. It doesn't work in a ranging market. So I taught you about market structure in my previous video, and I told you that whenever you want to trade the forex market, the first thing you have to look into is the market structure. You look at the market structure and confirm what the market is doing. Like I told you, we have different market structure, right? I taught you about that in our previous video. So you look at the uptrend, look at the downtrend, and you look at the range. So these are how the market works. The market works in an uptrend, downtrend, and then range. So what do you do in this time around? You are looking for trend, either the uptrend or the low trend, right? That is the downtrend. So that is what you are looking at, because like I told you, this works only during a trending market. I want to let you know that the trend line strategy works during a healthy trend, not during a strong trend, because during a strong trend, the price tends to make a parabolic move only up without retracement, right? But with a healthy trend, the price makes a retracement. That is when you can make use of your trend line. Please take note, the trend works in 3 different ways. We have the strong trend, we have the healthy trend, and we have the weak trend. So in the strong trend, we make use of the 20 moving average. Healthy trend, we make use of the 50 moving average, and the weak trend, we make use of the 200 moving average or the support and resistance level. While in the healthy trend, we make use of the 50 moving average and the trend line. So take note, because the trend line works very well during a healthy trend. Now when you look clearly, now you see that the market is clearly in a downtrend, right? The market is clearly in a downtrend. You can see it now. This is a downtrend. This is the highs, this is the low. This is the lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So this is the market is clearly in a downtrend, making lower low and lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. So what do? You simply go to your tools, right? This at the left side of your trading view. You can plot your tools. You go and search for the trend line. This is a trend line. You pick the trend line. So what do? You connect the highs of the trend. So this is the highs of the trend. Connect the highs of the trend. Now, you can see what I'm talking about. You connect the highs of the market because the price is clearly in a downtrend. So you have connected your trend line. So what are you doing? You are waiting for price to test this trend line. Okay? Okay. So like I told you, this is a 15-minute time frame, right? This is a 15-minute time frame. So like I told you, once you see that the price is making a lower high and a lower low in a downtrend, you plot out your trend line and connect it to the highs of the market, and then extend it, connect it to 2 highs. This is the first high, this is the second high, and extend it. Let me explain again. If the market is clearly in a downtrend, because when the market is in a downtrend, the market tends to make a retracement to the resistance level, and we are using the trend line as our resistance level because the market is going down, breaking previous support. So once you confirm that the market is in a trend line, making lower high and lower low, you simply plot your trend line and extend it. You connect it to 2 highs. This is the first high, this is the second high, and extend it down, right? Then after extending it down, what are you doing? You are waiting for price to come back to the trend line and test it. So like I told you, you have to wait for 3 touch before you place your trade. So this is the first touch, This is the second touch, and you are waiting for the third touch. So where is the third touch? This is the third touch. So once you have confirmed the third touch, you can now say to yourself, the market is clearly in a downtrend, because the market respected the first touch, second touch, and now comes back the third time. So once the market comes the third time, you are expected to place your sell trade. When the market touches the trend line, you place your sell trade and then put your stop loss above this trend line, right? Let me give you another example again. Once the price is in a downtrend, you plot your trend line and wait for 3 touch. The first touch is this, the second touch is this, and this is the third touch. So once the price touches the trend line the third time, you place your sell trade here and then put your stop loss above here, and then you can now ride the trend. You can see that the trend is going down. You can now ride the trend, and this will give you a better risk reward ratio, because you are risking little and gaining higher. Let's assume this is a trend line. You are risking, let's say, 20 pips and you are gaining almost 100 pips. That is 1 to 10 risk reward ratio. So trend line can help you to gain a better risk reward ratio. It can help you to manage your trade very well, because you are risking low and gaining higher. So that is how the trend line works. So let me look for an uptrend, so that I'll give you this an example of a downtrend. Let me look for an uptrend, so that I'll give you an example in an uptrend. All right, this is an example of an uptrend, right? This example of an uptrend, can see this an uptrend. This is clearly an uptrend, right? In an uptrend, the price is making higher high and higher low, higher high and higher low. So in an uptrend, what do? You simply look at the lows of the uptrend. That is where you place your trend line. So this is clearly an uptrend. So where are the lows? This is the lows, this is the lows, this is the lows, this is the lows, right? So what do? You plot out your trend line, right, and connect it. Are you seeing it now? See how you draw your trend line? All right. So see how you draw your trend line? You connect it from the low of the uptrend. You can clearly see that the market is in an uptrend, right? And you plot your trend line and connect it at the lows. This is the highs of the market. This is the highs. This is the highs. This is the highs, right? This is the highs. Then this is the lows. This is the lows. This is the lows. This is the lows. For the fact that the price is clearly in an uptrend, you have to connect the trend line at the lows of the uptrend. And like I told you, make sure that you only place your trade after 3 touch. Now you have connected your trend line. You connected it from the first and the second low, right? This is the first low, this is the second low, this is the first low, this is the second low. So you extend your trend line high. After connecting it from the first to the second low, you plot your trend line, connect it from the first to the second low. You plot your trend line, you connect it from the first to the second low and extend it right. Now you are waiting for the third touch for you to confirm that the price is respecting the trend line. So this is the third touch, right? This is the third touch, right? So this is where you are expected to place your buy trade, because you have confirmed that the market is clearly in an uptrend. The third touch will confirm to you that the market is clearly in an uptrend. So that is when you are expected to place your buy trade. Now you can see that the market tested the trend line the first time, the second time, the third time. So this is where you're expected to place your buy trade, and then put your stop loss somewhere below here. You place your buy trade once the price touches the trend line, and then put your stop loss a little bit below the trend line, and then you can now ride this massive trend, right? And if you are not able to get the third touch, you can still get the fourth touch, right? This is the fourth touch, right? You can still place your buy trade here and put your stop loss below here. You can now ride the massive trend. You can see the trend is still going up, right? Then remember that once the price breaks below the trend line, it changes the direction of the trend, right? They will call it a break of trend line. Once the price breaks the trend line, it changes the direction of the trend. You can now see that clearly the price was previously in an uptrend, because our trend line tells us that the price is an uptrend, right? Look at it, you can see the price is going up, right? So whenever the price comes to the trend line, you take your buy trade. Whenever the price comes to the trend line, you take your buy trade. Whenever price comes to the trend line, you take your buy trade. Then bear it in mind that the price can break through the trend line, right? So this is another technical analysis that I want to explain again, the break of a trend line. So when price breaks the trend line, right, breaks the trend line, you know that the price have changed direction. The trend is no longer in an uptrend, rather the trend has changed into a downtrend. So you are only looking to sell. Formerly you were in an uptrend and you are only looking to buy, and suddenly the price crosses or breaks the trend line, telling you that the trend have changed direction. So you are only looking for sell position. So now that the trend line has been broken, what are you doing? For those of you that place your buy trade, once you confirm that the trend line has broken, you have to close your position, your buy position. You have to close it and place a sell position. If you have not listened, listen attentively again. When the price is clearly in an uptrend, respecting the trend line, you hold on to your buy position. But once the price breaks the trend line, knows that the price have changed direction, the trend have changed direction, the trend is no longer in an uptrend, rather the trend has changed direction into the downtrend, you are expected to close all your buy position and open a new sell position. So now this is the break of the trend line. The trend line breaks. So this is the break of the trend line. You can see that the price breaks below the trend line and closes below the trend line. This candlestick tells you that the price closes below the trend line, right? You cannot place your sell trade here and then ride the trend. So this is how you trade the trend line. You can trade it as a support and resistance level. You can also trade it as a breakout, right? So this is how you trade using the trend line trading strategy. Like I told you, you trade the trend line as a dynamic support and resistance level. You also trade the trend line as a breakout, right? So whenever the price is respecting the trend line, you hold on to your trade very well, and once price breaks through the trend line, you close all your position, knowing fully well that the trend have changed direction. So the same thing applicable to the downtrend. If the price is heading down, making series of lower high and lower low, lower high and lower low, you extend your trend line from the up, that is the highs, and extend it down. So whenever the price comes to the trend line, it tends to reverse and head down. But if eventually the price breaks through the trend line, you know that the trend have changed direction. So what do? You are expected to close all your sell position and open a new buy position, because once the trend line is broken, it tells you that the price have changed direction. It tells you that the trend have changed direction. So you are meant to trade only in the direction of the trend. So my advice for you is to go to your demo account, backtest this strategy that I've shared with you, the trend line strategy. Backtest it very well in your demo account and master it. Like I said, the trend line works very well in a trending market. Please don't use the trend line strategy during a ranging market. It only works during a trending market, especially during a healthy trend. That is when this strategy works very well. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen, for taking out your time to watch my video. I hope you have learned one or two about the trendline strategy. If you do, give us a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to this channel for more educative content like this, and also don't forget to share this video on your social media handle. Come back for more updates. I still remember my humble self, Austin Ikeru, and you all are welcome to my channel, Ostino FS. Don't forget to share my video, don't forget to like this video, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more educative content like this. Thank you very much, and I say enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.